Evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. We took a week off last week to play some Borderlands, but we're back this week. So welcome to another Misadventure with John and his friends. It's a full complement this week. Matt, Bob, Phil, myself, we're all here. And
Hello.
I think I'm gonna leave my what will eventually turn to an outburst until after halfway. Um, so yeah, let's go with Phil. Phil, what you got? What you bringing to the show this week?
I knew you'd go with me. You always go with me.
I don't. I can change it to Bob if you want.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I'll warm the audience up for your,
Yeah, go for it.
your rant later. Since one of the things I've got on my list to talk about does tie in with what you want to talk about, so I'll leave that and maybe we could discuss it
Okay.
at the time. I'm just going to bring this a bit further forward so you can see me. Now, there's danger this one might get a bit political, so we'll try and avoid that.
Okay.
The internet regulator. What do you guys think about that?
Explain.
You don't know? You don't watch the news? Oh dear.
It's not
The
popped up on my
government is
feed either.
proposing.
So
The government is proposing an internet regulator for social media companies with a code of conduct, and they're talking about it being voluntary. But if you sign up to it, you're then bound by it, and basically they're all going to have to sign up to it or
right.
face and.
So what's the code of conduct?
Well, it's not been established yet, but they're just planning on doing it. It's following these, that like the suicide of that girl on the based on that was Instagram, wasn't it? I think.
Yep.
And then fake news. There's lots of stuff. In there. Doesn't sound like this is going to be a really good topic for discussion because you guys are all looking at me blankly.
No,
So
I'm trying to decide
maybe
what I feel about that. I don't know.
See, when it comes to fake news, it would be nice to have something in place to try and curb the amount of horse shit that's out there, because that's part of the problem for a lot of people on any topic. Even if you're looking for legitimate information on useful things, the amount of bullshit you get out there is partly why groups like flat earthers and anti-vaxxers and that seem to be propagating everywhere. It's hard to tell. Are they actually numerous as they seem to be? Because there's fucking posts about them everywhere and people talking about how they've met some idiot flat earther somewhere. And it's like, is this all bullshit? I can get there are some people stupid enough to believe in flat Earth, but is it really as big an epidemic? And it'd be good for certainly the news side of things if there was some way to force any kind of news brokering type thing to actually look up their facts, get things straight, and report a bit more honestly. Because there isn't a newspaper or news company out there now that isn't polarized in some direction.
Yeah.
They've all got a bias one way or the other.
The BBC is supposed to be unbiased, but I think it's all very watered down. It's a bit, it's a bit softball.
It is. The thing is, you're always going to have some level of bias, regardless of what news organization you're looking at. The BBC certainly seems to be the least biased, but that there's subtle influences you can see.
And there's a lot of they take information from the government and run with it and report it as fact sometimes when politicians have been known to economize with the truth at times and
light way of putting it.
Yeah, well, I don't want to come on the internet and say that politicians are liars because that might be but sometimes they say things and I think they mean one thing, but in fact they mean something else. And sometimes they mean completely the opposite to what I thought they meant. Mm-hmm. Obviously, that's all on me for misunderstanding them.
Obviously.
There is also a little bit of onus on politicians when they're speaking publicly about some things to make it clear.
Definitely, yeah.
They should be aware that everything they say will be open to interpretation to some level, so they should at least try to narrow down the amount of interpretation, so when they're asked they can go, no, this is what I really meant, and here's why. But that doesn't seem to happen. I think it also doesn't help that some politicians genuinely don't have the right facts, so they say what they think, but it's not actually accurate, you know.
Or they believe they know they don't know, but don't want to. You can't go on the telly as a politician, as one of the leaders of the country, and say, "I don't know." Plus, if they say it in the wrong way, a certain group will get on to them about it. If they say it in another way, a different group of people, and they're trying to make it palatable for everyone. But to me, that just makes them look like idiots who are just trying to avoid answering the question. And then everyone becomes disenfranchised with the entire thing. And then they go on the internet and look up some crazy guy talking all sorts of bullshit, and they believe it.
Yeah.
Because we can't believe what the politicians are saying, because they aren't saying anything half the time.
So,
but
sorry, to pull it to this internet regulator thing, the core concept of it, not necessarily a bad idea, because maybe there is things out there that need to be better controlled in the way people say things and what they say, who they say it to. But it's like, when we were talking about Article 13 and stuff, I think there's nothing specific by the sounds of it, so we don't know anything like that. We can't go off anything like that because we don't have what their core guidelines or rules are going to be. And there's B, like, who's going to be in control of that, and are you actually able to guarantee that they're not going to try and put in some fucking bullshit censorship crap that doesn't need to exist? This is the thing. It's in the core, and always the core concept is always a good idea, but it's who implements it and what they implement.
And how.
There'll be some fucking fine print somewhere that will be like, we now control what you say, or we now control this, or we have a final say over what you do. Core concept, good idea. The actual application of it, that remains to be seen.
Yeah, well, the big criticisms have been about freedom of speech and stuff. I think my big concern with that is that sometimes the facts, those crazy, wacky facts on the internet, might actually be the truth, and the BBC is just reporting what the government is telling them, and you could be blocking that. That's on the fake news element. I mean, we've gone on about that, but yeah, there's other elements to it as well, like the harmful content and making them responsible for that and removing it and all that kind of thing. So there are other sides to it, which might have some. There are some areas where there'll be value that you can't argue with, like child images and things, stuff that nobody's going to argue with, or images of torture or something that you can just say that's clearly crossing a line that we don't accept. But other things are on a finer line that could be abuse or could just be somebody expressing their opinion, which they're entitled to have. And now,
and then this regulator thing might be start shutting people down for having an opinion, and then that becomes a problem. So, there's...
Yeah, I think it needs to kind of draw the line of allowing people to say what they want to say, and making sure they understand that if they say something ridiculous, there's going to be consequences. If you post up some pro-terrorism thing, you're going to have special forces knocking on your door. That's an extreme case, of course.
Yeah, then there's somebody who could just have the opinion of, like, the Earth is flat, and yes, like, the general consensus is that's a stupid idea.
Mm-hmm.
But are you then allowed to get somebody to tell them that they're not allowed to say anything anymore? Like,
Yeah.
it's not that people don't want it to, but is it right? Because obviously the voices out there saying things like that and kids learning things like this, that's a problem. But you can't stop people saying that. So like your extreme cases, like a pro-terrorism thing, fine, by all means, that person's a fucking dangerous person. But that person who's been ill-informed or manipulated in a way to think that the Earth is flat, that's not really necessarily completely on them. So like, what right does a government have to tell someone that they can't? And I can't believe I'm sitting here playing fucking devil's advocate for flat earthers, but like it has to be said. It's one of these things that has to be said if this is a thing being talked about. You can't go, you're an idiot, you're not allowed to speak anymore. You can go, here's some better things to better inform you about what you're talking about, but you can't outright stop them saying it. So there's obviously, like I said, there's extreme cases, so like kids and whatever else. But just an opinion about something that you're ill-informed on, is that really right at that point? And that ties into who's in control of that system, who makes the rules
I think
there.
It's fair that if you say something stupid on the internet, that you should just be told you're being stupid. But there shouldn't be, like, you shouldn't be banned from continuing to be stupid. Because, well, you can't really cure stupid easily.
No, and you'd be banning 75% of the internet as well.
That might not be a bad thing, actually.
Bob, have you seen the news about the first actual photo of a black hole ninja wrestling?
Oh, I have seen the news, and I have not yet looked at the picture. I've looked
You haven't yet?
No, I've not. I've been busy and distracted with work and setting up things for Misadventures. So yeah, John, I've been putting Misadventures before my own interests in space.
Before space, wow.
Yeah.
Almost as if you're enjoying what you're doing here.
Almost.
Did someone say something? Yeah. So I'll be having a quick nib at that later. In fact, I just do it just now. Actually, I'll do it live when no one can see my screen.
Do it when John's talking about Borderlands. An epic there.
I'll just like switch.
It's not specifically Borderlands that I'm going to be talking about, though.
No, I know it's not, but they tie into it.
Yeah. So, anything else, Phil? What else you got in your little sticky note?
Okay, I guess we're done with that subject then.
Might as well be. I don't want to get too in depth on it and say something stupid on it.
Too much potential line crossing.
Yeah. There's a danger point on that one that I'd like to avoid.
Is indeed, yeah.
Okay. So, a couple of weeks ago, I can't exactly remember when, but it was a couple of weeks ago, I went to see Captain Marvel. Have any of you seen it?
I have.
No, I haven't. I'm going to soon, like the next week.
Well,
I love it.
Okay, well. Okay, John, you... Tell you what, shall I say what I think, and then you...
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so I actually thought it was really good, better than I expected, because I feel like they're starting to scrape the barrel of heroes a little bit now, so it was actually quite good. I thought the plot becomes quite obvious what they're doing. I think what's going to happen is obvious within the first 20 minutes of the film, and then becomes obvious. It becomes suspicious. I was suspicious of what might happen 20 minutes into it, and then 2/3 of the way through it, I was certain that was what was going to happen.
That's like most movies, though. Like...
Well, yeah, I mean, there's James Bond where you know what's going to happen because they're all the same. But it's not that bad. But it is kind of a redone plot. I think that's been not the whole story.
What's that saying that was going around for a while? I can't remember the specific wording of it, but it's like every film and TV show that you'll ever see is based off of like the same 6 plots.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Like, I can't remember the exact wording of it, but that's essentially what it is. you've seen it once, you'll see it again, but it's how it's done that matters.
The general
I think
plotline, yeah.
It's done very well, I think, and it fits nicely into the timeline, and they've set it up ready for the next film.
Which, by the way, 15 days until Endgame. It's 15 days until Endgame. It's also 15 days until the last season of Game of Thrones as well, because they both release on the same day.
They do, which is gonna cause mayhem for a lot of people. Oh my goodness.
What was I going to say? What was I talking about? Captain Marvel. Oh yeah, the last thing I was only going to mention before I pass it over to John was that when I saw Captain Marvel put on IMDb, whatever it was, 5-6 years ago, and we knew it was coming, I just assumed it was the old Captain Marvel. I didn't know anything about this. Captain Marvel is now Shazam, and they've got a new Captain Marvel, and the people who now own the old Captain Marvel decide to make a Shazam film at exactly the same time that the Marvel are making Captain Marvel. I mean, what a fucking
it's a rights thing from back in the 80s, man. It was all kind of so like Shazam used to be called Captain Marvel, and then they changed it because Marvel had a Captain Marvel, and it made more sense for them to have a Captain Marvel, and it made sense for DC to have a Captain Marvel. And then they kept using the name Captain Marvel, and there's been several Captain Marvels in Marvel, but there's only ever been one Captain Marvel in DC, and now it's Shazam, and they've no intention of ever going back to calling him Captain Marvel again, if that made any sense.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't actually DC from what I read that DC now owns Shazam. Yeah. Well, what is Shazam? But Captain Marvel was another comic thing that's long since been acquired by DC and been absorbed into them, and so they basically took their eye off the ball with it. They stopped making any Captain Marvel things, so Marvel jumped on and said, "Oh, let's jump in there now. We want Marvel, and we want Marvel." So they basically built that up, and but it's just bizarre. It's just completely bizarre. That I can kind of understand why DC don't want Captain Marvel and Marvel don't want DC to have Captain Marvel, but still, it's fucking it's a whole mess. Anyway, yeah, that aside, it's a great film. Go and see it. Before you see Endgame, I suggest.
So
yeah, definitely.
If it's still in there.
Yeah, I'm guessing there's spoilery material.
Not really.
No,
not
it's
really.
set in the 90s. It kind of just sets up her appearing in Endgame, but like it's set in the 90s, so it's so far removed in terms of the timeline that it's fine to go watch the standalone film. But it does more to set things up Endgame than Black Panther did to set up Infinity War. So
it's an origin story that you can work it.
Black Panther was the film before Infinity War, and it had no fucking setup for it whatsoever. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? So my thoughts on Captain Marvel is the film overall was really good. I liked it in that sense. The Skrulls are in it, and that's not spoilers. They were in trailers and stuff like that and promotional materials. I don't like what they've done to the Skrulls, and that's where I take issue with the film. The Skrulls are some of my favorite, like of the villain races that exist in the Marvel universe and the comics. The Skrulls are some of my favorites. I like their designs. I like who they are and what they do. And they completely fucking changed that for Captain Marvel, and that's really disappointing to me because I wanted to see one of my favorite storylines from the comics in the past 10 years, and I'm not going to see that now, certainly with the way they've got it set up for the Skrulls. So unless anything's changed between like Captain Marvel set in the 90s and by the end of Endgame, like they haven't made them the force that I wanted them to be, and that's really disappointing for me. The Kree were not exactly good people. They were not a good race out there, but they were always at least slightly better than the Skrulls, and then that's not the case with Captain Marvel, and I'm kind of disappointed by it. They also shouldn't be funny. They shouldn't be funny. What is it with making villains funny? Like, Ultron was sarcastic. It was funny, and I laughed. But he's not meant to be. He's a fucking homicidal AI killer robot who doesn't give a fuck about making people laugh. He just wants to kill them. It's a Marvel trope, and it's fine. It's fine. It's funny in the moment, and it's good. But you don't need to make them funny for them to be a villain. Like, it just bugs me. It just bugs me. And I really wish they would just do a villain who's a villain. Not trying to be funny, just
Well, like an evil
yeah,
one.
just
Like
Someone who's genuinely evil.
a homicidal fucking killer. Like, I know you're not really going to see that in a Marvel film, but there's ways and means of doing it. You know, Ultron should be going around disintegrating people. That's what he does. He just fucking disintegrates. Like, he disintegrates the fucking skin off a Wolverine at one point, and he's just left with the fucking skeleton. Mind you, a Sentinel did that as well, but it, hang on, right, we've got an update here. So originally by Fawcett Comics, they got sued by DC. DC then bought the rights, but did nothing with the character. Marvel came along and made a Captain Marvel character. Then like 4 Captain Marvels go by before DC revives Captain Marvel with Shazam. Would you rather they not be funny? They be not funny like Malekith. At least Malekith was a fucking villain. He wasn't trying to make people laugh. You know, like. There's better ways of doing it. Obviously, Malekith is not a good. Malekith was Thor 2.
Oh yeah.
There's ways and means of doing it properly, but obviously Malekith is not a good example. But yeah, there's ways.
It's hard. It's hard to do it without them being. I mean, you say Ultron can disintegrate people, but most people have to do it with a blade or shoot people, or it's to be really nasty without the humour. It has to be really sort of brutal, which doesn't make it can't be PG then, can it? So that's probably why they do it. I get what you're saying. I do agree. It's worse in the it's worse in some of the DC series.
Yeah, if they're too outright evil and just brutal and nasty, then it starts to become a horror more than if the audience is sitting there going, "Oh dear fucking god, that's horrific."
But you're not supposed to like a villain.
No.
Yeah.
You know, you're not supposed to like a villain. You're not supposed to come away from that going, "Oh, I feel really bad that he lost."
Actually, one good villain.
You're not supposed to be throwing up either.
I'd rather be thrown up at what they've done than fucking be like. Wait, what?
Wait, hang a second. What?
Am I a villain too? I'm siding with the bad guy here. Thanos was right.
Having said that, there are a few games where you tend to like the.
But you take somebody because you're going to talk about if you're going to talk about anybody recently in video games, it's going to be the guy from Far Cry 3. But he was still a psychopath. He was still fucking murdering people. Do you know what I mean? Like he was still obviously evil.
Yeah.
Who was? Sorry.
What was his name? The villain from Far Cry 3. I can't remember his name.
Oh yeah.
I forgot his name because I didn't play that game. Lol. Google. Haha.
See, here's an example of like a villain that everybody will.
Vaas.
Vaas, that was it.
Yeah.
Carry on, Bob.
So, Harry Potter, Dolores Umbridge, that woman in the pink coat. She's downright sadistic. I realise you're not a Potter fan. I used to be a Potter fan.
Used to be.
Yeah, I used to. I kind of just got to that point where I'm like, I'm not too fussed about it anymore.
Kiki Rowling enters the chat.
What do you mean, used to be? Yeah, so like, Umbridge is this character. She's really sadistic, but she always plays by the rules. But like, there's points when she, like in the book, she punishes Harry for like speaking out of turn, and the punishment is he has to write an essay saying I won't speak out of turn. But the pen he's given, when he writes with it, scars it into the back of his hand as he's writing. And then the stuff that appears like flowing as ink is actually his blood. And it's like, okay, that's fucking twisted. And it's kind of worrying that the rules allow that.
It's
But,
magic
yeah,
after all, isn't it? Lol.
yeah, it's Harry Potter after all.
And she wears
And
pink,
it's just-
which is the real
The
hideous
minibus.
part of it.
yeah, and it's just like she is downright sadistic, but she also has this lovely, quaint little smile on her face. And it's just like, she genuinely believes that what she's doing is right, and she also gets enjoyment from what she's doing. You could tell that she enjoys these horrible things, and she thinks she's right by doing it, and it's like, she doesn't need to swear. And Harry Potter, as far as I'm aware, is all PG. So you can get a horrifically bad villain, someone that you absolutely despise, and still get a PG.
Most of the Marvel films nowadays are 12s, so again, there's a barrier.
I know,
there's a
but
further, there's more. So do you know what it is? And I don't know if the rules are the same now, but certainly a couple of years ago, it was you could say shit a couple of times in a 12, and you were allowed one f bomb, and then I think the changes after that, it goes up to a 15, and then it becomes like gore and violence and stuff that change it from a 15 to an 18.
Stuff like that, yeah.
So
Yeah.
there is an extent to which you can get away with a hell of a lot in a 12. But they just, like, Guardians started pushing it. So Guardians of the Galaxy started really pushing what they could get away with. And Guardians of the Galaxy 2 did even more. So it's nice to see that there's some people out there pushing it, and I hope.
But they're all tongue in cheek. The Guardians of the Galaxy, the entire thing is tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
It's.
Yeah.
I mean, I think going back further to the Daredevil, can't remember, the Ben Affleck Daredevil, the Kingpin in that is actually manages to be. There's not really any serious violence in it.
Sorry,
but
Ben Affleck
he
Daredevil?
manages to.
This was years ago, many moons ago.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Ben Affleck's Daredevil.
I know you've probably not. Yeah, I wasn't talking about Ben Affleck.
He also does Batman.
I don't know. I don't remember that ever happening.
You
might have been too young.
It's almost like something better came along on like a streaming platform that did it way more justice, and now that that's happened, the memory of what's this Ben Affleck and Daredevil is just kind of disappeared.
But I wasn't talking about Ben Affleck. I was talking about the guy who played Kingpin. He's also in that really big black guy.
Yeah,
he's
Green
in
Mile. Green Mile.
What the fuck is his
can't
name?
remember his
Yeah,
name.
Green Mile. That's what I was thinking.
He's dead though.
And
like actually, just kind of sad because
he wasn't meant. Yeah. I mean, it's good that because I thought he made a good baddie that didn't seem tongue in cheek. He's not tongue in cheek in Daredevil, and the same actor plays the gentle guy in Green Mile. So you can do it with a guy who can. Well, I mean, it's an actor. They play different people. That's what they do. Unless you're Jack Sparrow, in which case you're Jack Sparrow in every film. You're Jack Sparrow in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and
Pretty much.
Jack Sparrow in every other thing, but everyone loves you.
Even though you're abusive and horrible to your
you basically only play one role game.
children and stuff.
Anyway,
Michael Clark Duncan, that was his name. The dude who played the Kingpin in the Ben Affleck film.
Mickle.
Michael Clark Duncan.
Mickle.
Didn't realise you'd moved up to the very north of Scotland there, Ninja. Michael Clark Duncan. Anything else, Phil? You got anything else there, or is it just tying into what I'm going to be going about?
How much more time have I got?
Well, I think Bob's is going to take up quite a bit of time, and mine's is as well. And we've got Matt to get through as well. So.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll leave it there then.
Matt, what you got, buddy?
All right. So, obviously, I talk about games because I'm a fucking. That's all I do, right?
Mad
so
it's a games podcast.
Hell yeah, gamers. Anyway, I've been playing a load of Division 2 this week because the new endgame, more endgame content came out on Friday, and yeah, so that unlocked a new essentially raid, not quite raid. It's not raid. It's not raid at all. A new mission which you can play. Sarah is in chat. Hello, and then so yeah, a new mission, another layer of items to get as well. So new stuff came out, new variations of weapons and stuff, and yeah, it's really pretty good considering it's more free content that you can play, and you just head on in. Spieling is hard.
It is.
It is, yeah.
How
Feels
are
bad,
we?
man.
We are all very good, I think. I think we're.
Yeah, like what kind of games have you guys? I know John's been playing Satisfactory, which
Oh
you've
man,
been having a
that game's
blast on.
fucking tight. It's awesome. Bob, you'd fucking love Satisfactory, man. I need to get you. To
Yeah,
look at
and
it.
I got a feeling.
I spotted you playing it, and I was gonna ask you, and I never quite got around to it.
If you look at general, you'll see some of the stuff I've been doing. It's fucking ace. It's like there is combat there, but it's like a survival game where you take the survival out. So all you've got to worry about is your health. So there's no stamina, there's no need to eat, there's no need to drink. It's just
Interesting.
it's still in early access, so there's still things missing. But the game just gives you very small bits at a time, and you access it when and as you're ready to, not as in like everything's unlocked. You've just got to start putting it together. You have to do things in stages, and as you're doing it in the stages, you're learning how things work. And it's not like you jump into something like Ark or Rust or any of the Conan even. It's just the game very slowly feeds it to you, but not so slowly that you get bored. So like in 5 hours, I've made this fucking massive conveyor belt system that's transferring all these materials around and converting them into what they need to be for me to carry on and build new stuff. So there is combat, there are monsters running around, there's not many of them, but the general gist of it is go find ore deposits, put some miners on them, convey that stuff to smelters, fire that stuff into constructors, and then if you want to, you can put them and you can take 2 separate materials, convert them into one conveyor belt and into assemblers, which then turn them into another material. And you do things in stages. There's tiers, there's research, and it unlocks new stuff. And it's super casual. It's not like the game's not expecting a hell of a lot from you, which is awesome. You just sit. Like I've been sitting on there for about 6 hours and I haven't got bored. It's just like, right, okay, so that's now ticking away, so I can go find some other deposits and start pulling them towards the base, so that I can start adding more of that single material in. So like the thing you need most is metal bars or iron rods and iron plates, and they're expensive, so you need to get a lot of those materials coming in. It's like I think you would get very quickly obsessed with it, Bob.
Sounds dangerous.
Yeah. Do you know what?
Might get it.
For the price of what it is, it's 26 quid early access on Epic Game Store, which I know is not going to make people happy, but we'll get to that. Trust me.
There's a lot of content there that is given very steadily.
Fantastic.
It is,
so
yeah.
Good. And you can get like the bits I've unlocked now is I can go and do research to get vehicles which can transport, so I can set up smaller mining places in different places across the map, and then I can get these vehicles to carry the materials from the smaller places to the bigger area, drop them off, and then go back and do it again. You can automate it as well, so they just go off, do their thing, come back.
Very complex, but really rewarding as well.
And it's not.
Then just saying it's like what he's done in Minecraft, then.
Basically,
but we're playing modded Minecraft.
Instead, it doesn't look blocky. It looks super fucking pretty as well. It's a really good looking game. Like you come out, you get dropped off when you first start. You drop off in this drop pod, and the door opens, and you just look out, and it's just like this beautiful fucking scenery that's just everywhere. Then you go, how can I take it apart? And you go find the resource veins and stuff. And it's like
lots of bombs.
I guess like tying in how slowly it releases it. So it has like a little quest marker for the first little while. So like you've got a hub that you build, and then as you upgrade the hub, it gives you these little quests. And then once you're done with the hub upgrades, it just kind of leaves you to go on with it. But you start off with these little portable miners. So you just drop them on a thing and they just mine, and you just pick up materials after they're done. And then you use them to make large miners, and they just sit, and you put power to them, and they just drill through. And then you can upgrade the power sources later on from going from biomass to coal, and then eventually I'm assuming there'll be more than coal there as well. It's really good. It's really good. I'm really enjoying it, and it's multiplayer. So you're not going to be playing it on your own as well. It's proper multiplayer there. There's no like open servers at the moment because it's privates or friend only. So they're keeping it quite restricted in terms of like what can be done because the worlds aren't huge either. They're not big. It's just sort of like think of it like you just get like you get like a medium-sized sandbox and you just got to make the biggest, coolest looking factory you can. And eventually you get like building parts so you can make walls and you can make you can case your conveyor belts and have them like run across the sky and stuff. There's loads of shit you can do. I barely even scratched the surface of what's in there, even as early access, which is insane. Of what they're giving you at this point for the price they're asking for it, it's pretty fucking good. Pretty fucking good. So definitely recommend it. If you guys are just looking for something that's stress-free, just relaxing, is not expecting anything from you, just wants you to build something cool, go get Satisfactory because it's fucking ace. It will satisfy.
I was sitting there thinking, do I make the pun? Do I make the obvious pun? But you beat me to it.
You did it in my stream earlier on.
It's too easy.
And I looked at it.
It's way too
I looked at it and I was just like,
its
sure.
name is a pun.
And do you know what? I'm just thinking to myself, it's nice that I got to get across this happy experience before the rage comes out.
Yeah. Always gotta show your happy side after all, don't you?
My goodness. For the small amount of time that it exists in a week, yeah. You gotta show it off.
Yeah, within all the chaos that is living in existence on this planet, sometimes there isn't complete
Here, Gold's asking rage.
Yeah,
rage.
You'll
rage
see soon enough. You'll see soon enough because I can feel it building. As we get closer to the
John's gonna be angry.
You can see, I've been angry about this since last week. Like I've let this shit build for a week. So
that T-shirt isn't red because it's actually dyed red. That T-shirt is actually a rage meter.
Yeah.
It started off green last week, and it's just been building.
What's everybody else been playing then since it's been brought up? Right, Bob, you've got yours in your bit, don't you?
Yeah. So.
I was watching you guys play fucking Siege earlier on. You guys are just fucking memeing all over the place, man.
Yeah.
I've been talking to Callum in his bedroom, and I'm like, I'm just sitting chatting away. We're going to like order pizza, and then I just hear you and your mates just go tits on Siege, and I'm like, where the fuck's that? Oh yeah, Matt's on stream. Of course, it's nonsense coming from my living room.
Welcome.
Christ.
Welcome to the Kuru Ninja stream where subpar content. The whole production of my stream is just generally, it's so poor, but I don't care because I'm playing games with my mates and it's good. You are welcome to join.
Podcast.
Yeah, podcast, total professionalism. I'm just gonna say this, right? And I know it's gonna happen now that I'm mentioning it. I didn't fuck up on the start this week. Everything went fine. I'm happy. Nothing went wrong. It usually just goes tits up at the start, but I managed it. I nailed it this week. Now let's see. I'm gonna fuck up the rest. I'm probably gonna drop some C-bombs while I'm raging about my stuff later. That's probably gonna
Yikes.
Tell you what, let someone
on YouTube.
We could like alternate between who introduces each week, and then that's like less chance for you to fuck up.
But then it's more chances for all you to fuck up though. It's still gonna happen. it's unavoidable. Let's just take a win when we've got one.
Okay.
So, we're about just pretty much halfway. We didn't do it last week because we weren't podcasting, and I forgot to do it the week before. But actually, we'll get some of the announcements out of the way now, and then I'll do my thing. One of the announcements is, since she's in the chat right now, Blue is now a full-fledged member of the Misadventure Inc. team. What she'll be doing will tie into the next announcement. We also have, so we mentioned it last week doing the Borderlands 4-player co-op thing, but now we're on the podcast and I can talk about it properly. The YouTube channel is finally live. For some reason, the Borderlands 4 player stream that I put up last week only recorded in 360p, even though the podcasts have always streamed at 720 and it's been fine. Hopefully, that's not going to be an issue carrying on. But so there's 3 weeks of podcasts up there. There's also a Borderlands 4 player co-op. There will be more content coming. Bob will talk about his side of things in a bit. There's more content going up there. Generally, it's going to be an archive for our stuff, but Bob will be making some bespoke content because he's not a streamer, so he's going to make it a little bit of a hobby for himself to do some stuff, but he'll talk about that more later. So what Blue's going to be doing for us ties into what's coming. So I've mentioned this before as a side thing, but now it's finally in the process. I'm just waiting on profiles and then some ideas of what we can do. So again, that's open to you guys telling us what you think would be cool, what you think would be worth it. Patreon is happening. It's basically half done. You can access the site now, but it is looking like shit. Basically, there's still some stuff on there from when it was a Patreon that's been repurposed from something else that's no longer active or being used. So it's not quite ready to go for us, but there is stuff there. You'll also notice in the background on our assets, you'll see an image that's from Blue. We've finally got that done, which is awesome. So Blue's got some stuff that she's going to be doing for Patreon. So it's going to be like what Blue? What was it you said? Like a vote, I guess. So well, there'll be free stuff as well, Ninja. It's not going to be like a paid. Not all of it's going to be paid. There will be some free stuff on there as well. It's just another place. So what I wanted to do is I've got other shows and I want to be able to pay some people for what they're doing. So I need to kind of crowdfund it because I can't do it off my own back right now. It's kind of the best way that I thought we could do it, instead of just being like, hey guys, here's a GoFundMe or here's a Kickstarter for things that we want to do. It's better to kind of do it. Well, maybe it's not better, but I feel like for me it would be easier to do it as like a support us if you can. There's not a time limit on it, you know. I can give you something back immediately for that. Whereas doing it's like something like Kickstarter, you could be waiting 6 months to a year before I can do any content, because it depends on how long it takes me to make that content. So basically, a vote on what next month's drawing should be, which patrons would get behind the scenes and access to the final image or sketches, depending on the tier. So yeah, there would be Blue would open up a poll. People would put responses in, or she would come up with ideas, and you guys would then vote on that. And then, depending on at what point of the tiers that you set, you would get sketches or you would get the full print, and it would be sent out to you as part of that. So
depending on the tier,
depending on the tier. So like if you say just, and this is not how it's going to set, at least not yet, but say like a $5
initial
tier,
ideas, yeah.
$5 tier would get sketches, the $10 tier would get the print, basically, and then that would continue on month to month, and you would get the sketches or the prints. The other thing that's on the cards as well is t-shirts. So we're working up ideas. So like if you sign up to like a $10 tier, for instance, you would get a Misadventure Inc. t-shirt sent out to you, and that would probably be one, unless we came up with new t-shirts ideas every month, and that's a lot of work. So we'll maybe just start with like, you sign up to this once, you'll get a free t-shirt, basically. So there is some stuff there. I'm kind of asking around some friends and some people involved in some other stuff what they think. This unfortunately, if you're talking about this specific t-shirt, this was a Loot Crate t-shirt and it'll never be seen again. So yeah, whatever Blue's working on, I've no idea. She's communicating back and forwards to me, so we're kind of just working that one out as we go. So it's been good. We've had quite some productive meetings, and then I've been sending her stuff with Satisfactory because I'm trying to convince her to go and buy it because I want her to play it. She's played the beta, and I'm like, come in and play it. Because I think it's 4-player co-op, so the 4 people of us get in and just build this fucking awesome shit. It'd be awesome. So yeah, that's happening. We're trying to get some crowdfunding on the go so that we can do some new stuff, we can give back, and I can make the shows that I want to make in the future. So there's that. I don't know if there's anything else.
Is your big rant?
Pretty much. I think we're going into that now. Right. So the first thing I'm going to say, the first thing I'm going to ask, actually, is for people in the chat and you guys here as well, what are your opinions on review bombing? I've had discussions about this in a shared Discord, and there was some interesting stuff come out about it. But what do you guys, chat as well, what do you guys think about review bombing?
Doesn't
Pointless way of protesting in a sense.
Okay, Bob?
So I've not really looked into it, so it's hard for me to
So the
form an
concept of
opinion,
it
but-
is, the community aren't happy about something, a decision that's been made by a publisher, not the developer, by a publisher, who then go on to Steam and deliberately drop the review scores so that people don't buy the game.
Not,
Yeah, no, that's
not
bullshit.
of the product, not the product that people
Yeah,
have a problem
like
with.
the older, so
A
like
product, a previous product.
So the thing that's fucked me up, the thing that triggered this for me, is when it happened to Borderlands. So I've been annoyed about the practice for a long time, and I've kept my mouth shut about it because it's just been happening and I thought it was going to go away. But then it kind of got a little bit personal for me because as everybody knows, I fucking love Borderlands. Everybody should play it, and if you haven't played it, go fucking buy it. It's fucking awesome. Play the game. But
Don't read the reviews.
see when 2K make a decision for Gearbox, which is to put it on Epic Game Store, put Borderlands 2 on Epic Game Store, and then some fucking arseholes decide to go onto Steam and go, these games, you shouldn't buy these games because it's on Epic Game Store. Why? What purpose does that serve? What do? You're taking away from a developer. You're not taking away from the publisher. You're making developers feel shit, and you're removing that experience from people's lives. If you like that game so much, you keep your fucking mouth shut and buy it on something else. Go buy it on a console. Don't fucking buy it on PC. Don't be some butthurt PC master race fuckwit who wants to go onto Steam and be like, don't buy these games. Don't buy them. Don't buy them. Don't buy them. Don't buy them. And then Steam been talking about muting these reviews, and they dropped it on the Borderlands thing. So all of their protesting and everything that they did on all of the Borderlands games, not just Borderlands 1, they did it to 2, they did it to pre-sequel, and I'm fairly sure it was on Tales from the Borderlands as well. They did it to all
Which
of them.
isn't theirs, is it?
No, that's
Tales
Telltale.
isn't theirs, is it?
That's Telltale, and they're gone. So what is the point? Like, why? What is it that drives people to do this? Is it just this faction of the fucking internet, of the PC gaming crew, that just can't handle being told no? PC exclusivity exists. Fucking deal with it. It's there. There's nothing you can do about it now. Publishers are getting offered better money overall, and they are going to take it. Don't take it out on developers. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve to be treated like this. The guys from Metro don't deserve to be treated like this. Randy Pitchford on Twitter yesterday, and I'm glad there's an update to this, said, do you know what? With how you've reacted, I am glad that 2K made this decision that we're
Exactly.
in. And honestly, there's a point where we might not even put it on Steam at all if you carry on this way. Randy Pitchford, the head fucking dev from Gearbox who's working on Borderlands 3, said, fuck you all, basically. Yous are acting like children. You're not getting what you want, so do you know what? You're not going to get it at all.
I don't agree with that. I think that because the people that are review bombing is a minority of the whole overall
It's still
games and people on Steam.
It's still a lesson, though.
But that may spur the other,
but it's
the other
childish
part of
lesson.
the gaming side of things, though, Phil, to go, right, guys, this is enough. Fucking stop. Because if they get it taken from them because of a select minority of people on Steam being assholes, then they're obviously the general public of that is going to speak up about it, and they're going to say, no, enough is enough. Stop it. Why are you doing
What are they going to do about it? They can't do this. There's douchebags all over the internet, and most people don't like them, but they stay there. So it doesn't. I don't follow that logic. All they'll do is upset people that would have bought the game, would have either bought it on Epic, or would have just waited until it was on Steam and bought it there, because they're taking it away for no real reason other than people are throwing their toys out for it. And I disagree with it totally. The review bombing, especially of other products that want nothing to do with the actual product in question. I personally, I think just having it on Epic is them being greedy. I'd be quite happy for them to charge more for the Steam version, and I would pay the extra because I'd rather have it there.
That
just for
itself-
convenience.
That itself would cause, I don't know, problems. Like,
Well, but why?
Yeah.
If it's fair. If you're saying the argument is we want more money, they just put it their markup as the same markup on each site, and it's 10% extra above that on Epic, and it's 30% above that on Steam. And if it was 10 quid, which it probably would be, the difference. How much is the base mod? Is it 40 quid, the base one?
For Borderlands 3?
Yeah.
50.
So if it's 50 on Epic and they're getting, what, 10%?
So back to when games were just like
Is it
30
not
quid.
like a 70-30 split towards the developers, the publishers, for Epic?
It's 30% on Steam, so it must be less than that on Epic.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
So if it was 90% of that they're getting, £45. Divided by 0.7. So it'd be 65 quid for a 50 quid game on Steam. You could buy it on Epic, pay 50 quid, or you could buy it on Steam and have it in your library. It's 15 quid extra, or wait till it's on sale and get it for less than that. If they did that, I'd probably pay the extra. I haven't really got a problem with Epic, but what I don't want is to end up with a library all over the place.
So,
I'm not getting into this whole. I'm not worried about the 210. That's a radio station in Reading. What is it? 10 cent. 10 cent.
Take Two.
What is it? 10 cents. Take two. It's not a rapper or a radio station. Yeah. I don't buy into this conspiracy theory of it being like some way of the Chinese government spying on all the gamers. That's just.
Yeah, so basically that all comes from like Tencent own like 30% share or some shit in Epic, and it's like, yeah, but that information doesn't actually go anywhere. They're just paying money. They're just supporting it. Like, they just have some shares. They don't have enough to actually do anything or make any difference. People got up in arms about Epic because it had a glitch that they weren't prepared for, and yeah, maybe they tried to cover up a little bit, and they shouldn't have done that. They should have just admitted their fault from the get-go. But they had a thing where what was supposed to happen is you accepted it to look at your Steam friends list, and that was fine, and it would take some information from Steam, but it was doing it without the authorization. So people got all up in arms about it, and then just like, oh my god, the Chinese, like Tencent's like this fucking Chinese government shit, and they must be definitely spying on us through our fucking friends list on Steam. What the fuck is that going to tell anybody? Like, oh, you're friends with this guy in fucking Ireland. What are you going to do with that? Like, what's going to happen? Nothing.
In fact, you're not even friends with him. You're not even friends with him. There's just some guy that you accepted. So you can trade some stupid card.
They can't tell anything. And it's just...
It is still personalised data.
What it ultimately comes down to is that there's the hardcore, the very, 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 very butthurt hardcore fandom in the PC world can't accept that their world is changing.
Mm-hmm.
They can't accept that they no longer have their own way. And it was always going to happen. It was always on the cards. It was just a matter of time. And now it's happened. They can't accept it, and they can't move on with the world. But what will happen is they will have to, or they're not going to be playing any more games. Or they're going to go back to piracy. Which, whatever. Don't give a shit. You can't pirate much now these days anyway, because nowhere will fucking let you in unless you're really savvy. So it's like, I really wish that there was this fucking vocal minority on PC would just fuck off. Just fuck off and leave it for the rest of us who just want to play fucking games. Like, I will buy Borderlands 3 on Epic. I will probably buy it again on Steam. Just because. Because I want to give that fucking developer money so they'll make Borderlands 4. I don't want to sit and fucking complain about it in some bullshit shitty ass review on Steam that doesn't mean anything. It's just, oh, boycott Epic Games. And then I looked at the Facebook comments. This is the worst thing I ever did. I looked at the Facebook comments.
Oh, no.
Never look at Facebook.
Oh, yeah, never.
Oh,
Facebook
wow.
comments. No. It's cursed.
Right, now I normally don't look at Facebook comments. And I was so irate and so angry at the time. I looked at the Facebook comments. And just something just switched in me. Something just went, oh! I just lost it. I just properly it's some fucking arsehole going, Oh, fucking boycott Epic Games. Boycott Borderlands. Nobody should buy the fucking game. Unless it's coming to Steam. Why would you even fucking bother? I'm like, shut the fuck up! Go find your fucking cave and stay in it. Can we cut off that fucker's Wi-Fi so he's not allowed to say anything anymore? Like, Jesus Christ. What?
Oh.
What?
So
Fucking entitled assholes thinking they know better than everybody else. Accept the world has fucking changed and get on with your life. It's not fucking hard.
I don't agree with all of that. I agree with a lot of it, but I think it's reasonable for them to be unhappy that it's not on Steam. It's not on the platform they want. I think it's reasonable for them to post their displeasure about it. I don't think it's reasonable for them to review bomb. I think it is reasonable for them to say, I'm not going to buy it until it's on Steam. If it never comes to Steam, I'm never going to buy it. That's completely reasonable. If that's how they want to go, I think they're quite within their rights to. And for even to say that, I think it's reasonable. I don't think it's really reasonable to encourage other people to do the same. Maybe you
just being a cunt about it.
Yeah, it's. I share some of the frustration about it. Not huge. I'm not really that bothered. I haven't bought Metro 3 yet, and I'll probably wait till it's on Steam. I only just finished Metro 2 yesterday. Played it through, fully completed now, got all the achievements and got the good ending and stuff. But I'm not going to buy the next one probably until either it comes out on Steam or I buy Borderlands 3 and then think, oh, I've infected myself with the Epic thing anyway. I might as well.
But I mean, you'll be buying Borderlands 3 day one whether you liked it or not. I'm just saying that right now.
Sorry?
Even if you don't buy it, I'm gonna buy it for people, just so they have to have it on day one. I don't care. I don't care about your fucking principles with launchers and shit. That fucking game.
Can you even gift stuff?
I will find a fucking way.
Like, not an Epic kicker.
Like legit, I will find a way to make sure you own that game on Epic. I don't give a shit when that game comes out. We're doing this shit. Like. It ain't fucking your principles for doing it for fucking Borderlands 3, like, with how much you've subtly taken small digs at me for not doing Borderlands 2 with you, we're doing Borderlands 3 on day one. You'll replace Phil.
Nice.
Well, look, there's your ultimatum. Buy it on Epic day one or you're getting replaced.
Oh my god. I'm probably not going to get it on Epic just because I like having all my games on Steam. And I've already got all 3 of the games on Steam, so why get one off?
I will repeat exactly what I just said.
Yeah, I know.
To you, man.
I know. It's just like, I'm gonna bite myself when it comes out on Steam in, next...
April.
This time next year, yeah. I'm good. I'll be able to afford it myself by then, hopefully. Because right now, I am poor, God help.
If you don't do it for yourself, do it for the channel.
I literally have £10 in my bank account and I cannot afford
it's not out
shit
till
right
September.
now. Yeah, I know, but like, oh.
Wait, what? Where you going, Nelly? Where you going?
Don't leave us.
Wow, that was rough on my ears.
That was loud.
I've got less money than all of you, I suspect.
I really don't fucking think you do.
I reckon my net position is worse than all of you.
You say that?
Yeah, so I mean that's kind of just what it comes down to for me, is I'm pissed off that people are fucking complaining about something they've got zero control over. Just fucking accept what's happening. If you know, fair, if you don't want it, don't buy it. I don't care. Just stop fucking complaining about it. Why is it everything that happens nowadays, whether it's good or bad, someone will find a way to fucking complain about it on Twitter,
Mhm.
on Facebook, anywhere they can possibly. Just can we just have some peace and quiet for a bit? Would that not be? Is that asking too much? Like,
Oh, that's way too much, man. Peace and quiet. What the
like,
fuck?
can we just go like a
Decent.
month where we just nobody gets irate or just does like this fucking what is it called? Um, something culture right now. What's it called? I can't remember. But it's just people giving each other abuse for something they fucking said. Just fucking get on with it. You don't know that person, so why the fuck are you getting irate and complaining about it? Just fucking get on with it. And I know I'm contradicting myself a bit here, but I've just had enough. Just stop fucking complaining about the fact you're not getting games when you want them and where you want them. Go eat a dick for a lack. Like, Jesus.
Don't worry, the internet regulator will tidy it up.
I can see the steam level dropping in you now, John. Like
I'm done. I've got it out of my system. And that's the
proper
thing, like,
proper vent right there. I can actually
just-
see the difference.
I'm just chilling out now. Like, I've finally got it out of my system, so now I'm just like, ah. So, Bob.
Well, good night, Nelly.
Bob,
See you
Bob,
later,
you've got
Nelly.
45 minutes.
Yep. I don't think it's gonna fit now.
On you go, Bob.
Oh, good oaks. So I've been itching to talk all evening on these things. So I know Detroit Becoming Human came out a little while ago, actually, but I finally got it. Finally, actually played it. Holy fuck! It's blown my mind.
It's a extremely like phenomenal game.
Yeah, the complexity is just ridiculous, and
the amount of actions that you don't think might not actually do anything, but later in the story you go back and all of a sudden it'd be like, you fucked up by the way earlier on. Here's what you get.
Who's your favorite android? Ninja, I would say. That's a tough one.
Mine's just gonna be Kara, if I'm honest.
Yeah. See, I think because of the way I played Kara, she's not my favorite, but that's my fault.
Yeah.
There's an unintended consequence. Yeah, I really liked Connor, and I think I liked Connor because of what I turned him into. The same with Marcus.
Marcus.
The thing is, you really impact the characters.
You do, yeah.
Everything. Like unfortunately, my first run through, almost everybody died apart from Kara. And I got to the end of it, and I was like,
"No way!
I wish I had a wee thing I could just pull out my chest to be done. This is just too much." And Stephanie, my wife, played it, and she got way better endings, way better results, and almost a different story altogether. And it's like, wow, this is phenomenal! Like how much effort they've put in. They spent 6 years developing it, and that level of effort has come through, and it shows really bright. And I'm absolutely wowed by it. Quantic Dreams have done an amazing job.
And now it's apparently releasing on Epic Games, lol.
I don't care what platform it's on.
All three.
I know,
of
no, it's just the fact.
Games, so like Heavy Rain,
yeah,
Beyond Two Souls are all coming on Epic Games Store.
I know people who bought a PS4 just to play Detroit.
It's a shame though, because I've watched playthroughs of it and it does look really good, but I won't play anything made by Quantic Dream because I hate the guy who runs Quantic Dream because he's such a fucking pretentious dickhead. And I'm like, I'm just nah.
Really do be like that? It really do be like that, you know.
It's like he's such a pretentious knob, and I'm just like, I don't want to give you any money. It's gonna make you more pretentious and knobbish. You know, I'll watch your shit on YouTube, but I ain't gonna fucking play it. Sorry, Bob, carry on.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not often that games really like make me fall in love with them, but like the characters, like I felt like everything made a difference. Not just my choices, but the choices I didn't make, the reactions that I missed. Like when you're going through the fast button sequences between X and circle,
Quick
like I
time
felt,
events.
yeah, when I went through those, it's like every so often I'd miss a button or two, and I'm like, does that mean that someone else is going to die in the next scene because I slipped up by a frame or two? You know,
It
it's.
can happen, yeah.
Oh, I see
mean-
a screen.
I mean, fucking look at him. He just looks like such a knob end. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, so yeah, that's kind of my. I'm not going to call it a review. This was very unstructured, more just me
Your
gushing
take.
over the game. Yeah.
Mm.
But
There's so many different ways you can play the game as well.
Yeah.
It's...
I doubt I'll even be able to replicate my first playthrough.
Exactly. How
Um,
stuff affected from the QuickTime events, which you may
Yeah.
not fuck up on the next time you play it.
yeah, exactly, and also like just remembering the choices I made.
There's so many.
There'll be so many that I'll have forgotten. I think I did this last time. Boom, and it'll be something different, or I'll do it in a different sequence, and that'll change the outcome again. I am impressed by how well they have made a dynamic story.
It's so vast, like the plot
yeah.
line, and how deep
It's
it
because
runs and how.
I think like it took them 2 years of filming for all the eventualities using the mocap. I was like, wow, that's incredible. So another little mini review. I'm going to talk about EDF5 briefly. John introduced me to this game years ago. What was the first one we played together? It was like
Insect Armageddon.
Insect
on
Armageddon.
PC.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, this is like one of my guilty pleasures. It's chronic, but you'll love it. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'll give it a shot. And then I was like, holy fuck, this is actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, I remember.
It's all hell. And
You guys did go through it.
I
Like,
was explaining.
in the previous podcast.
Yeah, so I put this up in another Discord. I'll see if I can bring it up while Bob continues talking, because I'll say how I explained it to somebody else in another Discord.
Yeah, so like, yeah, each EDF I've played successively gets cheesier and more B-movie-ish and over the top and more ridiculously bad, and yet I'm still hooked on it. I'm still like, I want to play a bit more. I want to shoot more bugs. You know.
So, this is how I explained it: is Earth Defense Force think Starship Troopers made by the Japanese as a game, and then make it look like garbage, give it an awful frame rate, and you have EDF. It's amazing.
Yeah, it sums it up. It's like those movies that are so bad they're good again because of how bad they are. And yeah, it's surprisingly fun.
So we have Earth Defense Force Iron Rain is out tomorrow, which is the serious one. So the cool thing is, so what they've done, Bob, right, is they've halved the mission count, so you have 50 plus missions instead of over 100, and they've upped the fidelity of the game, so it looks much nicer. They put less overall content in just to kind of make it look nicer, and your characters are now customizable, and everybody kind of gets different things. So like the 4 classes are still there, but they're now like the Lancer, for instance, now has like a mode where he can just basically roll around like a tank. So he can actually move. He has some movement.
What the fuck?
Because the Lancer was cool with heavy weapons and stuff, like giant fucking miniguns and hammers and swords and stuff, but he couldn't get anywhere very fast. So you either had to go like long range or just not do anything at all. But with the Iron Rain, it looks like he's going to have a hell of a lot of mobility in him. So, and the Wing Divers and stuff have got like heavy armor on and stuff now. So it looks really good. I'm not sure. The trailer I saw looked like it was just a rehash of Iron Rain, not Insect Armageddon. So I don't know, but it's more expensive as well. It's like because Earth Defense Force 5 was only 40 quid when I bought it, and this is 60.
Yikes.
So there is a price hike as well.
£60.
Yep.
Yikes.
So yeah, it's a lot of money for a
but
B.
we've not even finished 5 yet, so by the time we finished 5 and got through it, it will have dropped in price or it'll be in a sale. So
yeah, fingers crossed.
That's the idea.
But yeah,
sales, hell yeah.
I will be getting this on PSN.
It's good because like it's good and bad because you know you play it through. And me and Bob are on like mission 35, and then you look. There's a completionist like completion total underneath your name and like the side. And every so you'll finish a mission, you'll look over and it's moved like 0.2%. I think we're sitting at like 3.5 completed or something like that because
Yeah, we got a lot of shooting to do.
there's 4 different classes and then there's 5 difficulties and it all counts towards the completion aspect of it. And then there's all the weapons and stuff and how upgraded they are all counts towards the completion. So like it's never like unless you're willing to play that game for 16 hours a day every single day of your life,
You're not gonna get.
yeah, don't even bother. Don't even bother trying. Just finish the fucking missions, the story missions, and just move on to the next thing. I think this is substantially harder than 4 man. We've had to really
Yeah, I'm
fucking
noticing.
bunker down and
Like
get some stuff
at
done.
first, I thought, it's probably just because I've went the wing diver this time and I've got less armor, so it's it's just generally a bit harder because of that. But
Hey, Scott.
hello there. But yeah, it's
Certainly, so have you ever seen
Yeah.
a PSN cheat? It's 4-player co-op. It's fucking awesome. It's fucking garbage, but it's fucking awesome. You should definitely buy it and definitely play it, and you will definitely be disappointed, but in a good way.
amazing selling tactic.
That's the thing, like, but that's the thing. You can't
Yeah.
sell it as a good game because it's not. It's fucking garbage.
Yeah.
It's absolute fucking garbage, but it's the best garbage you'll ever play in your life.
Like I said, it's
Oh.
like a B movie of a game.
It's just, it's absolute fucking trash, but it's so good. It's like you just want to keep playing it, and you're just like, oh, that's a cool gun. What can I blow up with this? Is body parts of ants and spiders and shit fly everywhere. And the fun, so me and Bob have been joking as we were playing it, and they're talking like, so like the ants and the spiders and the wasps and stuff. They go on about them being monsters. It's almost as if they don't have bugs in their world because they don't call them ants, they don't call them spiders, they don't call them the actual creature that they are. They're just, oh god. Something in the chat there, Phil.
Boyfriend dungeon. I'm gonna have a nose at this.
They don't call them what they are. They just call them monsters or aggressors, and then they call them like
Yeah.
alpha or beta or something like that. And you're like, it's a fucking ant. Call it an ant. It's a giant fucking ant.
Like
why,
the
why are you
spiders,
trying
they
to give
call
it a
them.
fancy name? Just call it a fucking ant. Like, and then
It's like they call it the string shooting monster. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my god,
And
spider web, spider silk.
and it's like the other thing as well. So there's now like
Monsters are raw.
there's now like these humanoid frog type things, but they keep thinking they're like normal human size, and they're not. They're fucking giant. They're the size of the buildings. But the way they're talking about them makes them seem like they're just pedestrian-sized frog people. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
and they keep going. It's like you got this giant ass frog that's clearly not human, and they're going, "It looks too human. I can't shoot."
it looks
What?
like fucking. It looks like a mutated.
Humans have been
Slippy
shooting each
toad
other
is
for
what
a
it
while
looks
now.
like. It looks like a mutated Slippy toad. You've ever had the dream to be able to murder Slippy from Star Fox? Go by EDF5 because you can do it over and over and over and over again. It's the best fucking thing. It's amazing.
Become kill.
And it's fucking garbage, and it's ace. That's my set. It's so bad. It's so fucking awful. It's so terrible, but it's the best thing you'll ever play. What is this thing that fucking Ninja's posted?
Boyfriend dungeon. I'm just having a watch on Steam Store.
Oh, good.
Has
It looks
spider-
horrific.
has a-
Available when weapons are beautiful enough. Oh my shit.
Yeah, I read that and I was like, oh.
What is this? For your summer job, you're tasked with cleaning the creatures in the dungeon. Jesus, fucking kill me. Soon you discover weapons you find to transform into cuties, and they're single. What a crazy coincidence, because you also have to be up grabs for yourself.
Date your weapons.
Spend the
Or
cash you earn on romantic outings to forge precious moments with your lovers and work together to clear rampant monster infestations. Because after all, a couple that slays together stays together.
Oh, that is diabolically bad. That's one for the Shitty Game Sunday.
Reviews, guy at PAX West 2018. I'm going home and telling my mum I'm gay for swords now. Fucking Nerdist trying to give it something positive. Not only have you not only do you have your choice of weapon, you can also string together combos with that weapon. Combat is intuitive and fast paced. It's a game about fucking your weapons.
It just seems to be a theme of anything Japanese. It's like, what other unlikely thing can we have a relationship with?
Ninja,
Tentacles.
I hate you and I love you for that pun. They're Beyblades. As in
Oh, fuck. Wow, that's brilliant. I like it. Thumbs up from me.
Yeah. It needs Windows. It needs Windows XP, SP2 or later. So have to have a top quality machine.
Oh, read the title. Sorry, carry on, Bob. What else you got, buddy?
Yeah, so, okay, that's Detroit and EDF out the way. Now, as some of you know, I'm a bit of a fan of the Doom series.
Just a bit.
Just a bit. Well, I also really like StarCraft. And there's many more games that will eventually appear on my arm.
Eventually. As well as in stores or on online retailers.
My arm is a gaming platform.
Oh.
I could be really taken the wrong way.
The Cyber Razor Cut. Hey, do you remember the Cyber Razor Cut advert?
No?
YouTube. It was a Mega Drive advert. It was actually in its time. It's quite a good advert. I mean, throw it up now if you want, John. But it's Cyber Razor Cut. It should be. You might get the Genesis version, but if they've got the Mega Drive version, that'd be better. Talking about arms and stuff.
Right.
This is the game. So you get the boyfriend dungeon arm tattoo. Do you think that'd be a great one?
See, that's the kind of thing I know I would regret.
Would you though? For the memes.
See,
It's a line. There's a line that should not be crossed.
yeah. Yeah, so getting back onto track with the Doom news, I found this out earlier in the week that a 20-year-old speedrunning record got broken. This record was specifically speedrunning E1M1, the very first level of Doom, on Ultra Violence. The previous record was 9 seconds
Oh.
to get through the whole level.
Ah.
On Ultra Violence, yeah.
Ah.
9 seconds
9
for the whole level.
seconds.
I'll put a link to the video that I was watching for this, and yeah, it turns out 9 seconds is not the best you can do. Someone got it down to 8 seconds. Now, you might not think that's much, but then when you actually watch the playthroughs and how they're done, you realise just how much is going on. So I actually learned a lot about Doom.
Just from
I know.
watching these, yeah.
Just from watching how the speedrunners think about these things. And it's just like, wow.
I remember
I thought I knew a
showing
lot.
2016 speedrun when I
Yeah.
was back with my parents, and you were just like, what?
Yeah, I'm like, I thought I was actually pretty decent in this game. It turns out I actually know nothing. I cannot play for toffee compared to these guys. But yeah, there's a thing called SM50. It's like strafe moving, and basically the concept is like moving forwards, the speed is like 50, arbitrary number there, but moving strafing left or right, the speed is set to 40. But by using certain key combos, and it's like a 4-button key combo for this particular strafe moving type, you do move diagonally. It's basically the mathematics of adding 2 vectors together. You get a better vector.
Is this somewhat similar to bunny hopping, or is that
No.
separate?
Yeah, kind of, because bunny hopping's about you speed up as you move in
Yeah,
a certain direction.
it's about
doing certain
artificially
things.
boosting your
Yeah.
speed beyond what the game
Because it's like
normally
in
allows.
Half-Life, the way that you move fast is actually to bunny hop backwards, and you get more and more
Yeah.
speed.
Yeah.
They didn't cap the backwards movement speed because they didn't think anybody was ever going to be using it, but they
Yeah.
did.
And yeah, this SM50 type movement, you're always moving diagonally. so it's a little bit awkward. So if you're not 100% sure of your route and how to execute it, you're gonna hit walls, and that's another problem for speedrunners in Doom. If you touch a wall, you stop
You're
dead.
fucked.
It's like you could brush it with your elbow. That's it. You've stopped dead. So that makes it really difficult,
Good luck to
especially
the
when
next.
there's tight spaces. There's some areas in Doom levels which have really tight spaces. Opening doors will obviously they all take a second or so to raise, and you have to. What they do is they'll go close to the door, activate it, run back a little bit, and then shoot through the door. And the reason for that is they cannot afford to stop moving.
Gotta
If they
continue
stop
to run.
moving, because in Doom, you don't just when you hit move, you don't just start moving at that speed. You actually have to accelerate up to speed. You'll notice it doesn't take long. It's like a second at most of acceleration time. But
But
in a
it's still
speed run, that
something.
counts. That removes frames. And then there's the other cool trick of damage boost. So you want the enemies to shoot you because when they hit you, they give you a little push in a direction. And if you can line yourself upright, they'll push you in the right direction and give you more speed. Obviously, that can work to your disadvantage if they push you in the wrong direction or too fast somewhere too quickly, and then you bump into a door as it's opening. So literally every single movement, every frame has to be perfect. And just learning that about Doom speedrunning made me appreciate just how hard it really is. So yeah, this record was broken on the 23rd of February this year. I'm gonna. Oh, what did I do with the link? Yeah, I lost it. I'm gonna
Dawn
post
did it in
it
7
in.
seconds.
Bob, see,
Said you're going to do it.
before you do your next bit, can you leave the call and come back in because your webcam's lagging a bit?
Have I gone quite robotic?
No, your voice is still
It's-
fine, but the webcam's lagging.
Ah, is it okay?
Yeah, it's a couple of seconds behind you, so it might just be worth leaving and then coming back in to see if it clears it up. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Your voice is still fine.
Okay.
So
Cool. Well, I'll quickly finish up on the Doom thing,
Yeah.
and then I'll
Mhm.
jump. Yeah. So I'll grab the link for folks. I've kind of just lost my
this, ladies and gentlemen, this is a scene that I see quite often in my life, hanging around with Bob, which is that the brain is now switched into having to do things. And if you watch very slowly in his eyes, that you can see that there's actually cogs turning. But there's some real need for some WD-40 in there because they're just getting stuck and grinding and creaking, and yeah. So
oops.
oh.
Actually, put the time stamp is in there. Fuck.
It doesn't matter. It's
Okay.
the end.
Yeah,
So,
everyone,
activity.
if you follow that original link, you will have to
And we're now back to buffering for Bob here.
I can't multitask, okay?
I'm gonna get somebody to animate just a little thing that sits on your panel, Bob. That's just a little spinning circle.
Yeah.
Just when you stop, it's just gonna come up.
Yeah, so the second link will take you to the beginning of the video. The first link was just kind of where I left it last time after going over it to get some notes. Yeah, it's like late last year, a secret in Doom 2 got revealed for the first time. And it's an absolutely mental secret where it's on a specific level and you have to go through a teleporter to get to it. But the way to activate the secret, if you just walk into it normally, doesn't matter, doesn't work, doesn't activate the secret. If an enemy pushes you backwards into it, it activates the secret. Now, that's just a ridiculous level of secret finding. Like, how do you figure that out?
Oh,
yeah, so
shit.
I love finding these cool things. Oh,
Tricktoffen? Subscribe to Twitch
Trick.
Prime. Thank you very much. Welcome to the podcast. We've got about 20 minutes left, so hopefully you'll get to enjoy 20 minutes. Thank you very much for your Twitch Prime sub. Much appreciated. Welcome.
well,
Welcome.
I'm gonna leave and rejoin very
Yeah,
quickly,
go
and
on.
then I'll finish my.
We'll talk about him while he's
my
gone.
spiel.
Sprechen.
So that
Alright,
Bob, he's just oh hey Bob, how you doing, buddy?
Hey,
welcome back.
Hey.
Hi,
How you
welcome
doing,
back. It's
boy?
been a while. It's
Yeah.
been like a week or something, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's last Wednesday. I was talking about Doom and the.
Do we know
Right,
Trick
right.
often, Scott? Is that Ricky? Ah, it must be Ricky.
Ah,
Scott and Ricky from work. Must be Ricky,
nice.
because he's Ricky Trick on PSN. So it has to be Ricky. Yeah, it's Ricky.
The wink.
Winky face.
Ricky's just
Winky
come to IV
face.
up on Twitch. That's all it is.
He's
I'll
gonna
take,
come, man.
I'll take his sub. He's just come back.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. So what's next,
Yeah.
Bob?
What's next for me is news that we've kind of alluded to earlier already, that I am going to be starting uploading YouTube videos.
Get,
Oh, finger waggle.
No, I was like, oh, that's what it was.
Yeah, okay. I thought it was that I've remembered something, but I wasn't sure if you had to say something with the memory. Yeah, so I gonna be basically uploading using the Misadventures brand on YouTube. Basically doing a combination of things. I'm still firming up all the ideas and doing all the setup for how I want to present these videos. Basically, it's centered around Minecraft to begin with. I will be moving on to other games, and I'm going to have essentially free series under sort of like side quest type thing called Bob.episodes. I'm a developer, so there's going to be a lot of code themed stuff going on in
Ooh.
this, including I've actually written some Python scripts to like emulate stuff for the videos. That'll make it look like you boot up Bob as a program. And yeah, so the first first series of videos I'll be putting up is, I'm going to call it Mindless Meanders. It's going to be me playing a game and just basically thinking out loud. So lots of shower thoughts and anecdotal things and epiphanies and that kind of thing while I figure out how to build random things in Minecraft. The next thing, which again will be starting off Minecraft centric, is going to be sort of ultra builds or ultra structures. I'm starting off that. I'm going to basically in Galacticraft, I'm going to build an O'Neill cylinder. For anyone that's not aware of what that is, it's a sci-fi concept of you take a gigantic space station kilometers across and kilometers long. There's a big cylinder, and to create gravity, you just spin it nice and gentle and slowly, and that creates artificial gravity on the inside surface of the cylinder. And it's used in sci-fi a lot, because it's actually a pretty legitimate way to create space habitats. You have a big capsule of air, you've got artificial gravity, and yeah, it's used in a lot of things, and it's something that potentially might happen in the next few hundred years, depending on how humanity gets on. And it's pretty much the ideal way to colonize space, really.
Just as a side note, I've just put the YouTube link up into Twitch chat, so
Nice.
we'll give us a sub over there. If we get to 100, I can actually change the link so it says Misadventure Inc. instead of all that fucking random shit, because they're not letting people put custom URLs in anymore until you're at a certain level, which is about 100 subs. So that's fun.
Yay!
And it's just all this fucking nonsense in the link. As just a quick side note as well, we are 3 subs away. It might update, it might actually be 2, but we're 3 2 or 3 subs away from getting new emote slots. 12 or 13 out of 15 points, so more subs means more emotes. There you go, there's another one. That'll count.
Welcome, Phil, to the Misadventures podcast. How you doing?
Did you sub or did you just follow? Because I've got a follow from you, but I don't have a sub.
Nah, she's got the star. Liz has got the. Sarah's got the star next to her name. So
Yeah, I don't know then. Yeah, nothing's showing up in Streamlabs. Unfortunately, if it did, I would play the thing.
not
but it's not
yet.
there.
It won't.
But if you
It
have,
will in a bit.
if you have subbed, then thank you very much. Much appreciated. That probably means that we have enough for a new sub badge once it updates. So not sub badge, emote. So I'll need to get a resident artist on there.
My thing keeps coming up. I don't know why.
I don't know. Streamlabs is acting weird. Hang on. I can refresh the list. How do I do that again?
Well, while you use all
Yeah,
those
yeah,
Doesn't
technical
even know.
notes,
Shut up! I spent a lot of time with Liz, which is Sarah's cousin. So, I get.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So for those
carry
who
on.
listen on SoundCloud,
Yeah, things
Yeah.
have happened.
Mhm.
Anyways.
Yeah, so the last thing, which is going to take a bit more time setting up, is a Bob Ross style kind of set of videos where I create artwork with code. I'm starting off with CSS and HTML. On bail. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, stuff happens.
And basically, I'm gonna just
Yeah, it's
from
there.
scratch produce an image using HTML, CSS, and yeah.
Sorry, but I don't know why it took so long to update, but it's there in the list now. So there you go. There's your. Yeah,
Ultra.
the
Woo!
the gifts were all set up as Dragon Ball things from when I used to do solo streams. I need to get new ones, but we've got a plan for that. But that one's gonna take some time. I've said this before, but what we're gonna be doing down the road is Bluey's gonna be doing some 3D animation for our sub alerts and some following alerts. So just they're
I've
gonna
got the
take some
stream
time.
connected ones saved if you want them.
What's that?
I've got the streamers connected ones saved if you want them.
I really don't. I really don't.
Delete this.
I'd
Go
rather,
back.
Like,
Go back.
I'd rather vomit on my desk and eat it than do that. Just saying. Like that's how close that would be to me. That eating my own fucking vomit would be better than doing that.
They are very pink.
Anyway, so
moving on.
art
Yeah.
stuff. Bob, go. Sorry.
Yeah. It's mostly going to be pixel art, because that's just a genre of art that I really like. So yeah, I'm gonna start putting it out there hopefully in the next week or two, and I'll see how it does. I probably will change the content, pacing, etc. as I go along, because this is an idea that's just been knocking around in my head for a few weeks now. It's kind of like I fancy doing this, and then John's like, "Hey, do you want to do more for the Misadventures?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, actually, I do." So it kind of lined up nicely. And yeah, depending on how it goes, I might add different things. I'll probably start playing other games where I'll let my thoughts about the game just tumble out of my face.
Like Minecraft.
Yeah, like Minecraft. I was thinking of maybe doing some Metro things, since I'm now playing through that again. I've now completed 2 playthroughs of Metro 2033 and Last Light. So when the third one comes out, it's going to be an
When the
interesting
third
one.
one comes out. When it comes out, yeah, because it's not coming out till
Yeah.
January, is it?
I've got plenty of time then. Yeah.
It's not available on PC until January.
Just let it go, John. Just let it go. Just it's in the air. Just let it fly away. Just let it go. Don't come back to it. Okay, the moment is past.
Right, cool. Yeah, so
Just buy the fucking
Starting
game! Just buy it! It's on Epic! Just buy it! What does it matter? Okay, I'm done. That was it. Okay, I'm good. I'm good.
I mean, I'm just gonna buy the game when it's available to me. Is my plan, really. I'm not fussed about the platform here. I'm just
I
kind
mean,
of
it's
like,
available on Epic now.
is it? Oh shit!
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
been
realize.
out
I
for
thought it
yeah,
hadn't
yeah.
actually been released.
No, it's out.
Ah, okay, right. Helps if I pay attention to the real world, doesn't it?
Yeah, no,
Well,
it's out on
the
Epic.
joke.
Cool. In that case, I'm
For-
gonna go buy it.
You should buy
$49.99.
Satisfactory first. Definitely.
I'll buy the
Satisfactory.
games I want to when I want to,
Buy
unless you've
Satisfactory.
otherwise convinced me.
Except
Satisfactory.
Fortnite. You can't buy it even if you want it.
Because it's free to
Oh.
play.
Yeah, and then Apex. You can't buy that even if you want it.
It's free to play.
Sweet.
Anyway, that was a bit of a
Yeah,
weird
so-
moment.
Yeah, some weird voices came out of the sky there. It's trouble with being in the void like this. Yeah, so it's almost 11. I have a random fact that I was going to give, but earlier people were
Oh,
asking.
bye, Phil.
Oh, no, we've lost a Phil.
Phil dead.
Phil
Oh.
died.
We're back.
Phil
He's
back.
back.
Am I? Hello.
Yeah. Hello, friend.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Ah, there we are.
See that little spinning symbol that's on right now on Phil's thing? That's what I'm going to make up for
Yeah.
Bob. I'm just going to get a GIF that just plays around him. when he
Ooh.
puts
It just plays around my head whenever I freeze.
it.
Yep.
Yes, what's your random fact this week?
Well, before the random facts, I am gonna
Will it
share my
stop?
screen. Yeah, I know. I'm thinking. Oh, there you go. So earlier, people were asking what I thought of the black hole photograph, as it were. So I looked it up and I was like, "Wow, actually quite interesting."
Sorry, I'm
Mm.
just going to vomit because Bob's on a Mac.
A
Oh,
Mac that I got for free.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm okay.
I wouldn't have this Mac if it wasn't given to me. So,
You
Yeah.
persuaded Richard to buy one.
well, he asked me what are the benefits, and I was just honest that there are actually some pretty decent benefits to it, in terms of the tooling for developers. I think he was already really wanting to buy one. I just kind of sealed the deal, you know.
Because he
And
kind
if
of
you're
blamed you.
You
Hmm?
can see the symbol of Firefox. Oh god.
Firefox,
I don't know. Carry on, Bob.
oh, in the image, I was like, I don't have Firefox installed. Yeah, so that wonderful image is very interesting. So I'm going to do some more detailed stuff on that next week, I think. But yeah, first ever photograph of a black hole. Something I never thought we would actually get because the nearest black hole is tens of thousands of light years away, thankfully.
Yep.
Oops.
But yeah, this is Sagittarius A, the black hole at the center of our galaxy.
Nice fiery donut. I don't think it's fiery, if I'm honest, but
And
But
it's a
yeah,
I mean,
it's,
it will
it's more
fucking
plasma and
yeah, burn you to shit if you go anywhere near it. But
can atomize you.
I mean, no, your body would just stretch out until you became nothing.
Almost nothing, but yeah.
Well, yeah, for eternity and eternity and forever and ever and ever on. Yeah.
We don't. It's a giant suckle. Jeez. Slurp.
in comes Ninja with the
Wow.
wood.
Yeah. So
Oh.
very random fact. Before I go away, I found out that there was a study done in Florida in the '60s into insect obesity. It apparently it could be a problem for mosquitoes.
What?
John's reaction. Oh my god, that's gold.
And then there was a recent study done by Rod Schilder of Penn State on obesity in male dragonflies.
No, I'm sorry, I
what they
can't come out
found-
to drain blood out the humans. I'm too fucking fat. I need to get on the cardio,
That's-
man.
That's exactly the problem that those mosquitoes faced.
I need to get on the cardio, get that treadmill on the go. Let's get to fucking Pure Gym and just get a membership, just crack on it, get the weights on the go. Yeah, let's do.
Yep. Now, here's the next great thing, right? The obesity comes from a parasite that can infect dragonflies.
Oh lord.
And it basically causes their bodies to build up more fat than muscle.
It's a parasite.
What's the parasite's name? Shows infection.
Friend.
It doesn't actually mention it here. I'll need to find the original paper to find
Oh.
out what parasite was infecting them.
Mosquito
result-
slurp.
Slurp. The net result was that the fat dragonflies ended up less successful in mating and defending their territory from rivals. I was like, geez, this is not going well for them. So if you have any insects, especially dragonflies, make sure they get plenty of exercise and a good diet, because obesity can affect every species.
Dense.
So there is my random fact for the week.
Well then.
Your face, John's.
John's just like, oh. We've been live for a while, guys, so make sure you stay hydrated.
What are you supposed to do with that information? Like,
You are supposed to.
Can we get a color changing gif of rage induced John
no, Blue's gonna
and
be
an
working on it.
exercising mosquito jaw up?
So just before we go and we do our goodbyes, I didn't get a chance
It's
to do
not
it
the same
halfway.
parasite.
So we've been through this before, but I'm going to do it for every show that I remember to do it on, which is really bad because I should remember every show to do it. Blue has an Etsy store. You could get prints like this. It's Blue Panda. It's Blue Panda Prints UK on Etsy. When you use Misad15, you get 15% off your entire order. Her prints are £10. Go buy them. They're good. They're cool. You won't get a frame because mine's a special because I'm fucking awesome. But you'll still get the prints. And you can go buy your own frames and then they'll still be fucking cool. That's what you do. 15% off entire order. Misad15. Blue Panda Prints UK.
Go get him.
She's done a new one. It's a parrot? I don't want to get the bird wrong. It looks like a parrot to me.
It's a something. It's a bird.
It has wings and a beak.
And
It's
burb.
blue.
And burb. Sarah still wants the t-shirt.
You're not having the t-shirt. Pirate Macaw, there you go. What's sort
Oh yeah, it's a little macaroni, yeah.
So before we go, Matt, anything you want to say?
Nothing besides the usual stream on Friday and Wednesdays as normal for me. Other than that, make sure you follow if you're not followed already on Misadventure's channel, because we're here every friggin' Wednesday for good quality content.
Top quality, the best quality.
Top quality content, unlike
Never
my
make a
channel.
mistake. Never makes a mistake. 100% on it.
And all your insect needs.
Fucking fat insects.
Oh
man.
my goodness.
Fucking fat insects. What the fuck?
The
When I
obesity
look-
crisis strikes again.
When I found this information, I was like, I have to do it for the random fact. It has to be done because no one's going to expect it.
Where did you
Tonight
go
on
to
Music
get
6,
this?
insects are fat. What can we do about it? It's such like a Fox News thing to put up as well. It's like,
Yep.
our insects are now obese. What is going on? Phil, anything to say before you go?
Not really.
Good
But
talk, buddy. Bob, anything to say before you go?
Yep. Keep your eyes peeled for the YouTube series that I will be doing Other than that, I'll catch you all later.
Boys newsprint.
Posted in chat and now on your screens if you're watching on the
Yeah.
channel.
We think it's a parrot. We're not sure.
It's a parrot macaw. That is macaw.
Yeah. That was actually really, really good.
An insect in a red t-shirt with an alien bursting out of its chest, entering a black hole. My goodness, Sarah!
And from myself, I'll post it again. So that is our YouTube link. Go hit sub if you haven't already. Get us those numbers. Bob will be putting some stuff up there real soon. Podcast will be up there in the next day or two. I'm working quite a lot over the next couple of days, so it just depends on how much time I get. We'll be back next week. We are re-evaluating the Sunday show in terms of the time it goes on at and what we're doing, because it's not been doing great. So we'll be talking about that, and there may be a Sunday show this week. There may not be a Sunday show this week. We'll see what happens. And we may end up just filming some random stupid shit for YouTube. I don't know. I need to speak to the guys, but we'll find out. Beyond that, hit the Discord, say hello, give us your news, talk to us. We'll be doing some stuff. The tournaments will be coming back round soon. I'm just trying to finalise some stuff on that and pick a game and stuff. But yeah, they're coming. That's it. That's it from us, I believe. So,
Hell yeah.
have a good one, guys. And as our thing usually says, if you take the wrong path, you might truly end up on a misadventure. Bye!
See ya.